Do you have trouble being fast in the wing 360s and 410s at Fairbury because you largely can't run the cushion without hitting the wall? Well, if so, then stick around, because in this video, I'm going to be showing you my advanced braking technique that I use to not only corner at Fairbury and put the car wherever I want, but every single track on iRacing. So, going to be covering that and more right after this. What's up, everybody? Thomas Brandon here, and welcome to another video. And today we're going to be taking a look at Fairbury in particular, and specifically how to run the top at Fairbury. Now, Fairbury is actually a really tricky track for a lot of drivers because many drivers have a hard time learning how to be very easy with the wheel. And with the wing sprint cars, it's very difficult to learn in the beginning how to be smooth, right? You jerk the wheel, the car's all over the place, and then what typically happens is you get pretty good at qualifying and in the heat race, and then when the track slicks off, you find yourself all over the place. And so what typically happens is you wreck a lot. And then you come to a track like Fairbury, and now the fast line is right on the wall, and this wall will literally jump out and bite you. And you just kind of wonder, am I ever going to be fast at this track? Well, luckily you are, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So let's hop in. Now, the first thing that you need to understand about this track is that when you're running the top here, you've got to get your entry correct. And what I mean by that is you got to enter high. Because this track is so small and so tight, and you're going to be carrying so much momentum, if you don't enter high enough, what will happen is you're going to slide up and you're going to back into the wall, and that's when all sorts of problems happen, okay? And the difference on this track when it's fresh between the high line and the low line is drastic. So on the top in the 360s, I think my fastest time is like a 10.9. Understand, that's about where the 410s run, okay? On the bottom when it's fresh, I think my fastest lap is like 11.4. So you're talking about almost a half a second difference. It's a huge, huge difference, okay? So let's take a look at how we do this, all right? You're gonna use quite a bit of brake. And when I say quite a bit of brake, I mean quite a bit for a sprint car. You're gonna do about 20%, maybe even 25%. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get that car to actually load the suspension. See how the front of it sucks down? This is what we wanna do, all right? So let me show you here. You're going to come in, get that car down, and then you see how I'm just rolling into the throttle? You hear that? You can actually hear the car, you can actually hear the suspension slamming down on it. Now, once you get good at this, you can see you really want to, that's going to happen, don't worry about it. You really want to roll in and out of the throttle. You can see that I'm dragging the brake quite a bit, through the entry. I'm not just tapping it. I'm actually pushing that thing down and dragging it down. I want to suck the suspension down and get it loaded so the car will corner. And then from basically the apex out, I'm controlling my slide, right, my corner with the throttle, okay? And the higher that you can be up in that cushion, in that fluff, the faster your lap times are going to be. Now, one thing you're going to want to keep in mind is the fact that you can hear we're not winding up the motor nearly as much. And so you're going to want to run a much shorter gear if you're going to use this much brake, because you're going to need that low, like really that low end torque. And I got into the wall there. But that's enough of an example. I've showed you quite a few laps. So now you might be wondering, well, Tommy, what's our lap times, right? Like, how fast are we? You can see fastest lap 11.0. I had an 11.0 up here, 11.2, 11.1, 11.2. I can guarantee you right now, And this is a 10% track. I can guarantee you right now, if you can consistently run 11 O's, 11 1s, 11 2s in qualifying, you're going to be up towards the top, depending on which split you're in. That's fast time in most splits. I mean, unless you're in like a 3,000 strength of field running with the actual pros because they're trying to get their iRacing credits, you know, for this track or for the 360 class. Unless you're there, you're going to be setting fast times. And you can see it's not like I was wide open the whole time, pitching it in there, motor just singing, right? Very, very smooth, but very, very effective. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, well, Tommy, I mean, that's great on a 10% track. Any schmuck can do that. Heck, you know, my son, my 7-year-old son could come in here, right? And drive on a fresh track and be fast. Well, let's actually try this technique on a slick track. All right, so we are at a slick Fairbury now. Now, this track is pretty notorious for slicking off. I ran a few laps to make sure that I had my setup dialed in. And real quick, I'll go over it with you. I took some stagger out of it, and we got, changed some bars, some shocks, a couple little tweaks here and there. Basically the stuff that I always talk about making, nothing big. And you can see I've also got I've got a full fuel load in there, just like I was going to run in the feature, okay? And if I show you laps real quick, you can see I'm running 11 3s, 11 4s. This is a 50% track. You go out and run 11 3s, 11 4s on a 50% track, basically in the feature at Fairbury, you are going to win races, not just compete. You will win races, okay? So this works, all right? And let me show you exactly how to do it, because it's relatively the same as we were doing on the fresh track, right? On the, basically like the qualifying track level or heat race. Basically the same technique. We're just going to be a little bit easier on the throttle and the brake because we've got the slick now. And you really want to make sure that you're getting over, outside that slick on the entry. That's really the key, is you've got to enter high. You want to follow this arc as much as possible. Okay, because that wall will bite you in the backside. It really will. All right, so I mean, look at that. I'm pacing and I hit the wall. Let's run some laps here. So you can see we just drop her down, roll in through the throttle, right? Hit the wall. That's okay, right? Let's get her up to speed now. Drop her down. Like I said, if it bottoms out like that, as long as it's after you get that car set, you're okay, right? Just rolling out, rolling in, dropping it down with the brake, right? Really, you can see I'm doing it really, really easy. All right, see that? Just going right around the slick there. Rolling through it. On the exit there, you can see we've got that slick that goes all the way up to the, oops. Apparently I can't talk and drive at the same time. We've got that slick that goes see how it goes all the way up to the wall there? So I'm just making sure that I'm not full throttle on the exit and turn forward because we've got that slick there. I don't want to get sideways coming out of the turn. All right? Just like that. Drop it down, right? We're just rolling through. You can see I'm about half throttle. Pick up the pace, right? Down the straightaway. And I'm not smashing the pedal. I'm rolling into it. Just nice and smooth. All right. Now, even if you want to use this technique on the bottom, you can. Watch, let me show you. All right? You're just going to... You want to make sure that you get the car rotated on the entry so it doesn't get loose coming out. And you're just turning it with that throttle from the center out, right? Once you got it rotated enough. See that? Just nice and smooth. Right? Really, really smooth. Less is more. It really is. All right, that's one of the things that a lot of people struggle with in these cars, is they see these pros and they think these pros are just out there wide open through the middle of the slick and they've got some magic secret. They don't. They really don't. They're doing things like throttle control, trail braking, okay? If you ride along with them, all right, you can't, unless you're doing it like with me, where I'm actually showing you my view live with me. Unless you're doing that, if you're doing it from like here where you're picking them and going to cockpit and riding along with them, the sound of the motor and stuff like that, it's not going to sound exactly the same as it is as what they are doing. And I know that for a fact because I've tested it, okay? I've tested everything. So they're using their trail braking, throttle control, stuff like that. Yeah, they've got a setup that works well for them, but understand they could give you their setup and you would probably not do good with it, right? So I mean, the setup is to fit your driving. Now, if we go look at the last section of laps that we did here, you can see we're low 11s, right? Mid to low 11s. Now, we dropped off when we went to the bottom, but that's okay, all right? That's okay. Remember, what you want to do at this track is if it gets really slick, like 70, 80%, what you'll notice is that the bottom will start to become the fast way around the track because most people aren't going to have the skill to put the car right on the wall and hit that cushion. They're not, okay? So you can pass a lot of people on the bottom. So what I typically recommend to a lot of the people in my group in the School of Sim Racing is that, use the top to catch them and then go to the bottom to pass them, right? Undercut them coming out the corner, get a run on them, then go to the bottom and then slide up. Right? Whether you do a slide job or slide up in front of them on the exit, whatever it is. So that's going to do it, all right? Like I said, really simple, but it's really effective. So go out and test this. And like I said, this works on any track. It doesn't matter. Now, obviously, it works better on tracks like this, right? Like Fairbury or Kokomo or Limaland. I still don't say it right. I know. Please don't send me a comment telling me I mispronounce the track names. I know I do. Lanier or Lanier, another one that I get wrong. But regardless, this works. Okay, you can even do it at tracks like Eldora or Knoxville, USA. Okay, you're just going to be dragging the brake less and keeping more throttle because they're much bigger tracks. You're trying to maintain that momentum. But this technique will work. So go out, test it, practice it. Remember, you're just trying to get that suspension loaded. Once you do, then it's all throttle control from the center out. And you're going to be amazed at the lap times that you lay down and how smooth you are, especially in a situation like this where the track gets slick and everybody's sliding all over the place. So that's going to do it. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, real quick, before we go, if you like this video, please do me a favor, hit the like button. Also, share this. There are a ton of people out there, especially in iRacing, that need help with dirt. So share this with them. If you know that if you got groups or whatever, share it with them. All right. The more people that we can help by showing them these little techniques so they can get smoother and faster, the better. So share it with them. Get this out there. Okay, and then if you want to learn more, right, you want actually more training and my actual setups and things like that, head over to School of Sim Racing, right, the private Facebook group. Ask to get in. As long as you agree to the rules and stuff like that, you can be a part of it, man. Okay, so head over, you can check that out. And then finally, depending on when you're watching this, but if you're watching this before May 15th and 16th of 2020, if you want to be a part of my upcoming charity race, it's called the Wings for Hope. We're raising money for the Ringer Podcast Network's World Central Kitchen GoFundMe and the Hickey Family GoFundMe. I have no ties with either of them. I don't know them. They wouldn't know me if they tripped over me in the street. I just came across them and just decided that I wanted to do, kind of a big, entry fee event, where we had payouts and stuff. And I decided, hey, let's do it for charity since we're doing it. So that's what we're doing. If you want to be a part of it, we've got 305s, 360s, and 410s that we're going to be running. So head on over, check that out. Entries start at $20. All right. And if you want to run all three classes, you can run all three for $50. You get a huge discount on the overall price. So head on over. I'll have a link down in the description below, or you can just go to wingsforhope.eventbrite.com. But that's going to do it. Thank you very much, as always, for joining me. Until next time, I want to wish you good luck, good racing, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.